If you search for answers about life after death, the reality of reincarnation, or the consequences of our actions in terms of heaven and hell, you will immediately find a huge amount of texts, books, materials, interviews and arguments, claiming that none of this exists, that it can't possibly be real, and debunking these ideas. On the other hand, there are tons of materials claiming the opposite, that all of these concepts are undoubtedly real. Even if you already made up your mind on this issue and picked a side, you may still find this video quite useful. Ultimately, you will learn how to engage with people holding different beliefs, as well as how the Buddha communicated with them. Both skeptics and believers lack proof solid enough for universal acceptance. Everyone has strong points, convincing conclusions, plenty of stories and examples, but no one can provide empirical evidence compelling enough to make all of humanity agree. This is an observable, verifiable fact. What should we do? How can we uncover reality? What is the wisest path when nothing is certain? We are not the first to question these beliefs. People have been struggling with this same issue for literally thousands of years. Let's see how the Buddha responded to these questions. People came to the Buddha asking if there is life after death, reincarnation and karma. Essentially, they were asking, why should we behave one way rather than another? And why should we practice the Buddha's teaching or follow any moral philosophy, religion, or ethical principle at all? Some paid their respect to him, some exchanged greetings with him, some sat down to one side without speaking. As we can see, these people came in the group and each held different level of respect toward the Buddha. Some deeply honored him, while others did not. This is actually quite important, because it shows us how to answer questions about life after death, reincarnation and karma when asked by people with a varying degree of prejudice. They said to the Buddha, there are some monks and priests, they explain and promote only their own doctrine, while they attack, insult and slander others' teachings. So we are uncertain, we wonder who amongst these respected monks and priests speaks rightly and who speaks falsely. Seems like the way we think nowadays. Some say life after death is real, others say there is no afterlife at all, some say you should do good to others to end up in a better world after death, not in hell. Others say it's pointless and the main thing is just to stay out of prison. So what path should we follow? The Buddha responded, the first guarantee, if there is life after death. When that noble disciple has a mind that is free of ill will, uncorrupted and purified, if it turns out there is another world and good and bad deeds have results, then when the body breaks up after death, I will be reborn in a good place, in a heavenly realm. The second guarantee, if there is no life after death. If it turned out there is no other world and good and bad deeds don't have results, then in this very life I'll keep myself free of enmity and ill will, untroubled and happy. The third guarantee, if there are results of karma in next lives. If it turns out that bad things happen to people who do bad things, then since I have no bad intentions, and since I'm not doing anything bad, how can suffering touch me? The first guarantee, if there are no results of karma in next lives. If it turns out that bad things do not happen to people who do bad things, then I still see myself pure on both sides. When that noble disciple has a mind that's free of ill will and purified, he has won these four guarantees in this very life. Those who had come answered, excellent, that's so true. Let's go through the chain of reasoning once more to better understand. why these intelligent people were so impressed by the Buddha's answer. So, if there is no life after death, no hells, no heavens, no reincarnation, no effects of karma in the next life, if none of that exists, then in this very life, right here and now, by being ethical, practicing Buddhism or any other highly moral philosophy or religion, or even just secular ethics, we make our own lives better. We do not kill or steal, so we are far less likely to end up in prison. We do not awake at night in fear of being caught for a crime. We do not lie to people, and people take our words seriously. They believe us. People like us much more. Everyone loves honest, confident, kind and calm and balanced individuals. We do not wish harm upon others, and so people around us are more benevolent. We are not poisoned from within by anger or envy. We are not tormented by negativity. Our mind is clear. We are kind and free from a huge mountain of problems that plague those who live without any moral compass. This particular life of ours is far more peaceful and happier. But if there really is life after death, if there are heavens and hells, reincarnation, then that's absolutely wonderful, because we win a huge prize. Our next life will be favorable. We won't end up in some terrible hell or suffer of consequences of our misdeeds in future lives. And if we've been truly virtuous, evolved and cultivated higher states of mind, we might even reach the highest realm, the heavens, whatever you prefer to call them. So, to put it simply, it's a win-win situation. We benefit either way. The Buddha called this the safe bet, the option where is no losing. The following is a sutra concerning this question. There are some who have this doctrine in view. There is no meaning in giving or offerings. There is no fruit or result of good and bad deeds. There is no afterlife. The one who acts does nothing wrong when they punish, mutilate, torture, aggrieve, oppress, intimidate, or when they encourage others to do the same. You can expect that they will reject good conduct by way of body, speech and mind, and undertake and implement bad conduct. Why is that? Because they don't see that unskillful qualities are full of drawbacks and corruption, or that skillful qualities have their benefit. And there are some monks and priests whose doctrine directly contradicts this. They say there is meaning in giving, sacrifice and offerings. There are fruits and results of good and bad deeds. There is an afterlife. A sensible person reflects on this matter in this way. If there is causality, when this individual's body breaks up after death, they will be reborn in a good place, a heavenly realm. But suppose those who deny causality are right. Regardless, that individual is still praised by sensible people in this very life as being a moral individual of right view. But if there really is causality, they hold a perfect hand on both counts. So they have won twice. It's called a safe bet or a safe choice. And what do we supposedly lose? The dubious fake pleasures from stealing, killing, or the petty trivial gains from lying? The problems from all these are greater than any profit or benefit. But then people usually think, wait, what about fraudsters and murderers who stole millions but lived happily ever after? So most of them don't live nearly as well as we imagine, because they are constantly threatened by other thieves and murderers with whom they are entangled. Committing any serious crime alone is almost impossible. They live in constant fear of being caught, exposed by honest people, punished by justice, or killed by their own partners in crime. Their lives are often just piles of filth, where they try to numb this bad feeling with things bought with stolen money. None of it brings real happiness. and what a risky bet they've made if there is life after death. Because if that's the case, they will end up in terrible places and they won't take their stolen goods with them. It won't help them at all. Is it necessary for a Buddhist to believe in reincarnation? The teaching of rebirth should be not seen as a dogma that Buddhists are obligated to believe in. Instead, Buddhists are encouraged to adopt this teaching on rebirth, hell and heaven and other realms as working hypothesis. The Buddha said, "It's fitting for you to be perplexed, fitting for you to be in doubt. Doubt has arisen in you about a perplexing matter. Do not go by oral tradition, by lineage of teaching, by hearsay, by a collection of scriptures, by logical reasoning, by inferential reasoning, by reasoned cogitation, by the acceptance of a view after pondering it, by the seeming competence of the speaker, or because you think this monk is our guru. But when you know for yourself, these things are wholesome, these things are blameless, these things are praised by the wise, these things, if accepted and undertaken, lead to welfare and happiness, then you should live in accordance with them." With karma, it's a bit simpler. We can observe it right now in our own lives, in the lives of others, if we pay attention. And if we accept the hypothesis of reincarnation, it's logical that the effects of karma extend into future lives as well. However, even this shouldn't be blindly believed or taken as an absolute necessity. Observe and verify until it becomes your own direct experience. And it will become direct experience, because if you practice Buddhism, you will personally see for yourself how you consist of many parts, not just a physical body. You will begin to better notice and understand how the world works, with its constant rebirth, interdependence, and the true nature of your own mind. I personally found it reasonable to make a safe bet, but in any case, the choice is yours, it's your responsibility, your life and your afterlife, with all its hells, heavens and reincarnation, or if you reject such notions entirely with your nothingness.